Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Greenlit and Grounded. In today's episode, we sat down and spoke with Julius Cho.
We had a chance to talk to him about how his career and experience in the voice and animation world translated into his work in TV and film.
We also talk about how learning about his authentic self has informed his work.
If you haven't already, please be sure that you're subscribed to our YouTube channel, follow us on Instagram, and give us a 5-star rating on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. We really appreciate it. Enjoy the episode.
Julius Cho!
Hey.
Welcome to the podcast.
Thanks for having
What's
me.
up,
Excited
man?
to have you.
Yo, it's good to be here.
So we're going to just jump right into it.
Sure.
You got a lot of experience in the booth as a voice actor.
I do.
I want to talk about the approach of crafting a character when you're in the booth doing animation. Is it text-based research? Is it cerebral? How do you approach the work when you're just starting out?
Truthfully, I think it's based on, for me, instinct at this point, where I look at, the specs of the cartoon of like, okay, is it Paw Patrol? Is it adult animation? Is it kind of something in between, like a Total Drama Island? And most of the time I just kind of equate, okay, where can I find the connection of myself with this character?
Mm-hmm.
Even if it's not a human, I'm like, okay, what is the emotional, I guess,
Core?
points? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so a lot of the time it's like looking over the script and just asking yourself, kind of like I think Stephen Yaffe is always about finding the meta of like, what are you showcasing? Just like in film and TV, what is your purpose in this script? Are you showcasing the lead? Are you representing an emotional A to B kind of thing? And how do you just bring it to life?
So do you
Yeah.
find that, like, because it's a different medium where you're just focusing on the voice, that it's still a transferable skill to approaching the script when it comes to voiceover? Because you no longer have the same tools in terms of the imagery,
Right.
or the literal frame of what you would normally work on when you're working on TV and film.
Yeah.
So what adjustments do you have to make when you're looking at a script and how you would approach that and crafting it from the ground up, even as early as the audition stage? Because that's different than in the booth.
I think what I love when I do animation scripts is finding within the line where are beats that I can put some life into it.
What does that mean, putting life into
So
it?
pretty much it's like, let's say it's like, oh, what's up, guys? And you kind of read the script or the scene and you're like, oh, he's kind of walking in an awkward situation. We call it walla or vocal assist. So I would maybe add something between the, hey, what's up? And add either just like a weird breath out or a weird like sound to kind of show like, oh, this is awkward. So because when you're a listener, you don't hear or you don't see what's happening.
Right.
So you want to give who's ever listening to it, the casting director or even the animators, just something they can work on, something they can see. So I would go, hey, what's up, guys? Instantly so different from just reading, hey, what's up?
Hey, what's up? Right.
Completely different, right?
Totally.
So what I love is always just with a pen, just like finding like a little triangle like in between these words. Or let's drag out this word kind of thing to kind of showcase.
Great.
Yeah.
So we were going to ask this question later. But as the case goes with our
Yeah, it
podcast,
just
we
flows,
jump all over
baby.
the place.
Yeah, man.
In previous interviews when you've talked about the craft, you've mentioned, you start with the text.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of us would agree with that.
Right.
But you talk about what's there in the text, and sometimes it's in a line. Sometimes that line will have an ellipses or a comma, and you're like,
Right.
"Ooh, what's that?" Or
Yeah.
the script says, "There's a moment," and you're like, "Ah, what's that moment?"
Yeah.
But sometimes it doesn't say that. Sometimes it's just you have a line, I have a line, you have a
Correct.
line, and there's no stage direction, but there's still something that you can finesse from those moments where there's nothing written. So when
Yeah.
you say from the text, Julius, are you saying that there's something in the text that is written in a voiceover animation script that you go, what is that pause? Or is it kind of similar to what I was just talking about,
Yeah.
where there's nothing there that you are making something there?
I would say it's a bit of both. It's
Okay.
a dance of like I think I got a lot better when I realized acting was a negotiation, where a writer will come in and let's say they give you no staging, so you're like, great, I can just kind of figure it out as
Yeah.
I go. What is the subtext? How does the other person's lines affect me? But if they write staging, then you also got to respect that too and
Right.
be like, okay, how do I had an acting teacher called Lynn Cormack where she was like, actors turn shit into gold. And so you're like, okay, how instead of just arbitrarily screaming in this moment, how do I justify it? How do I find where that ellipses can be fueled by something that at least it might not be what they want, but at least it's kind of like, it's my version I'll figure
Right.
it out. Yeah.
Right.
But is that specifically in the audition process or when you're actually in the booth?
I'd say both. Truthfully,
Interesting.
both. I would say in the booth when you're recording, it is a kind of dance between you and the director,
Right.
how like I guess accurate they want to keep it. But with
Mhm.
animation, it's so free flowing that I personally just love it so much because you can kind of bring in an interpretation. They'll be like, "Cool, I like that. Let's do that one more time."
Let's roll with it.
Ooh, keep that. Can you just clarify this word, but just keep everything else?
Right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't know how familiar you are with the voiceover animation world. I'm not I've never
Right.
done a show or anything like that.
Yeah,
so
you did a cartoon, right?
I did do a cartoon.
Yeah.
I actually was in final callbacks for Bakugan. Actually,
Oh, wow.
one was for Dan, but this is for like the
Hell
recent
yeah.
one.
Okay.
I can't remember the other one, but I
you do have a good
man,
Dan voice.
I really liked my audition
his
for the
name
other
is
role.
Dan.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Who was the other? Was it a villain?
It was a villain.
Okay, cool.
But it was like I grew up watching Bakugan.
Hell yeah.
So like the Bakugan brawl, like it's just I know what that is,
Here,
and
relax, Daniel. This is in the audition.
yeah, there we go. I think like I've auditioned for that show like 2 or 3 times already.
Yeah, right.
So I know a little bit about the animation, but I also love anime in general.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying
Sorry,
to think
side tangent.
I'm like, where was I going?
I want to just like highlight you guys
No,
too.
no, no,
It's
no,
so
no,
cool.
no, no.
So with that,
Yeah.
You're working with the director in the booth.
Right.
In film and TV, it's I mean, unless it's a very specific situation, I think more so for comedy,
Mhm.
maybe they'll give you a line read of like, this is how you have to say it.
Right.
In voiceover world, it's just voice, kind of what you're
Yeah.
saying. It's what you hear. Are you ever in a situation where a director's like, I like what you're doing, but say it like this, and they give you a read?
All the time. And it's funny, some actors don't appreciate it, but I'm
Right.
personally like, English wasn't my first language. So I might say things that are like not the right stress. And they're like, no, we just need it like this. And I'm like, cool. And most of the time, it's not just the director in the room. There's also the art director.
Right.
So they need to figure out, okay, vocally, can we draw that vocally?
Right.
Does that fit the scene and then the universe?
But there's sometimes where you're recording the voice first and then
Yeah.
they're superimposing the cartoon onto that.
Correct.
But then there's other times where the
Yeah.
cartoon is made and you
Yeah.
have to match your voice
Like Bakugan.
to like Bakugan.
So that's like
Exactly.
ADR. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, so I keep hitting this. Basically, it's
okay.
called dubbing, where when it's another foreign language that you come in, they need the English translation. That's where you come in. It doesn't pay as great as people think it does. Like
Yeah.
I teach dubbing sometimes, and
Okay.
the kids are always so excited. They're like, "I'm gonna make money. I'm gonna be an anime star." I'm like, guys, this was my paycheck for like 3 episodes of Bakugan.
Yeah.
They're like, "Oh," I'm like, "You
Yeah.
can do it.
You can
if
get some McDonald's.
please,
You know?
but, like you can go to conventions and stuff, but
Sure.
most of the time it's like you got to do this because you're passionate or you just really enjoy it.
I think
Yeah.
that's an
Yeah.
important note. Which camera I'm looking at right over there. This is important across the board, guys. If you're going to be an artist for the money, just don't. like
I mean,
This
do
guy
it.
knows about that.
just don't. Like it's a grind.
Yeah.
And you got to just do it for the love. So I appreciate
Yeah.
you saying that. I think it's important. Yes, there is money to be made in the industry, of course.
Absolutely, yeah.
But if that's what's fueling you, I don't think most people will last.
And not to counter what you're saying, I will say
Counter,
like,
Please
counter,
do. Okay,
counter.
sure, but
Yeah,
like,
no,
I think-
shut him up.
but-
Shut him up.
Give me a reason to
but
be like,
I
okay, I'll
think,
keep going.
like, going after your passions is great, but being smart is also way better too.
Yeah.
Like I could have started off just being like, I'm gonna be a theater actor and only a theater actor. I mean, we all know that like theater pay compared to like
Yeah.
film and
Theater
TV.
pays? What?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, bro.
Yeah,
or like
yeah.
commercials and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Where if you're smart and you're like, oh, let me actually expand. Even background pays very well.
Yeah.
When you're in the
Mhm.
union, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you're like, if you keep your passion but also act smart with it, you can still pursue a life of acting. You might
Yeah.
do stuff that you're like, I don't want to do this, but
Mhm.
also it kind of fuels your passion. I'm just like, yeah, have the balance of both.
It's a fine.
Yeah.
I agree. It's a fine balance. You got to
Yeah.
survive,
of course, yeah,
But yeah, no, I. It's funny you say about theater pays. I remember in high school,
yeah.
we actually, for some reason, went to a theater show, and I remember there's like a Q&A, and they were like asking questions, and somehow it came up of like, how much do you make a year? Or what, and this guy was like,
Wait,
oh,
a student asked one of the actors,
Yeah.
how
Heck
much do
yeah.
you make a
yeah,
year?
it was something like that. And I just remember specifically, he's like, oh, like on average, like I think actors make like 12 or 15,000 a year.
Oh wow.
And I just remember all my friends look at me and they're just like, have fun, Jer. Like, good luck, buddy. And I'm just like, he said on average, like
On
I might be
average.
the anomaly.
I
I
might
don't
be the
know.
anomaly.
I don't want to be average.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
That's so funny.
That's what it reminded
I
me
feel
of.
like that's every man's like fear of just being called average or pursuing
Yeah.
an
Oh my
average
God.
life. You're like, no.
Yeah.
Chill just went down my spine.
See?
When you're in the booth though,
Sure.
one of the things that's appealing to actors is they get to collaborate and work with each other.
Right.
And especially when you're, on stage or on set. On stage, I guess a little more, but even on set, you get the opportunity to have that action and impulse with a reaction.
Yes.
And sure, once in a while, I mean, I guess it was more pre-COVID, you might get the opportunity to record in the booth with people,
Right.
but not so much anymore. It's a very
No.
isolating experience. So
Yeah.
what does that look like for you? And or how does that feel when you're trying to have that emotional reaction to something that isn't coming at you in that moment? How do you adjust that?
I mean, truthfully, it's the same with what we do in auditions. We endow. We kind of try and figure out how the other person would say and feel to just get us into that emotional state.
Yeah.
Actually, pre-pandemic, it was a lot of solo recording too.
Oh,
So
okay.
not a lot of ensemble. There was like maybe a few, but in Toronto, we don't really do a lot of ensemble
Really?
stuff. I don't know why.
That's a Toronto specific thing.
Kind of.
Like, is that
yeah.
compared to like Vancouver or just U.S. to Canada?
US to Canada as well. I think Toronto does a lot of solo stuff. I don't know why. Maybe it's just for logistics.
Yeah.
But correct me if I'm wrong, but pretty sure Vancouver does a lot of ensemble reads.
You would know better than me.
I-
that's
bro,
true.
I
That's
don't
true.
know.
What am
No
I doing
idea,
here?
bro.
You're looking at two schmucks over
Wait
here.
a
We don't know what we're
No
talking
idea,
about.
bro.
But yeah, in the States, like you'll sometimes see behind the scenes of like Futurama or something like that. And
Yeah.
they're all in the booth together.
Yeah, or like Guardians of the Galaxy, Toy Story. You see
There
like
you
Tom
Exactly.
Hanks, there's
There you
everybody.
go,
So
yeah.
so
Yeah.
going off of instinct, like you said in the booth,
Right.
are you do you hear the other actors' lines and then you say your lines,
No.
or you're just doing your lines?
You're just
and-
doing
Like
the
you're
lines.
recording them one at a time.
One at a time. Basically, the director will be like, okay, Julius, we're going to go line 4 to 36, go. And that's just my lines. If the director wants to, they can read with me.
Do they do
Yeah.
the thing though where it's like if you do 4 through 36,
Sure.
you're recording line 4 and you do that, let's say 3 or 4 times
Yep.
and give the different versions,
Yep.
and then the director says, "Great, we can move on."
Moving on,
Yep.
yeah.
So it's really
Yeah.
just you just grinding it out.
Pretty much, yeah.
Wow,
But it's great because like I can finish 2 to 3 episodes in 45 minutes.
crazy.
I
That's-
remember.
crazy.
Well, it depends on the
Yeah.
voice too.
Well, that too, yeah, of course. Last year I was on SkyMed shooting for one episode, and that took, I want to say like 9 or 10 days just for one
For the
episode.
one
One
episode.
For the one
yeah.
episode, right?
That-
Because
that
it's like
doesn't
different
surprise me.
locations or like
Yeah.
needing to drive me back and forth from North Bay to here.
Yeah.
And then I would go in the booth and it'd be like, oh, we're done? I finished
We just did the whole season
we're
in 2
done.
hours.
We're done. 2 episodes and it's
Yeah.
not even
You don't need to drive me back to North
Yeah.
Bay.
No, I was like, oh, night and day, bro. Like night
Yeah.
and day. Yeah. Yeah. So you just kind of grind it and you kind of, I found I got stronger as an actor by working alone in the booth because it wasn't trying to be masturbatory. It was trying to be like, cool, what am I doing to the other character?
Right.
What do I need the other character to understand of what I'm going through vocally rather than I'm just going to do a cool voice and hopefully you like me.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So on that note of not playing off of somebody, for lack of a better
Sure.
word, comparing it to SkyMed,
Yeah.
Going from the voiceover world to film and TV,
Right.
are there things that cross over? Are there things that you do in the booth that you can't bring into the film and TV world, and vice versa?
Because the voice
Yeah.
is a really powerful thing, and
Yeah.
I'll say this: I think one of the benefits of coming from a theater background is
Mhm.
there is an emphasis on the voice and the power of the voice that a
Yeah.
lot of TV and film actors don't understand.
Yeah.
And so, how do those skills transfer or not?
I mean, for me, it's always depending on how clear you want to speak.
Okay.
this
You
is-
mean technically in terms of like enunciating
Yeah,
and
correct.
pronouncing things?
Yeah,
Okay.
where like in film, we can kind of get away with it. 'cause
Like a little
then-
more lazy.
Yeah, and we
a
can go to
little more-
ADR and fix it up or something.
Yeah.
I think the greatest thing I got was the spontaneity and improv that you get from working on animation that you can bring into film and TV of just like you're listening to someone, they say something like, oh yeah, that's pretty cool. I'm going to keep going and we'll just see where this
Just
goes.
kinda riff
Right.
just
And if
see.
it cuts, like whatever, but it's that spontaneity, that fun of just discovery, and you're kind of like, ooh,
Yeah.
let's go and see where this takes you.
Well, that's
Yeah.
actually a great
Yeah,
segue
yeah.
into, you've worked on a lot of comedies, whether it's
Yeah.
What We Do in the Shadows,
Right.
Ghosts, Children Ruin Everything.
Yeah.
And so there's obviously a script
Yes.
that is, whether it's in the auditions or on set, you're sent it, but there's a little more leeway in terms of playing with it, and whether it's adjusting a line to something that you find funnier or ad-libbing a line at the end or in the middle.
Yeah.
What is that line for you? Because I know when auditioning for it, you get a little more grace, but then when you're on set, you're on the clock, money's on the line. Do you still feel like you have the ability to be spontaneous and improvise?
You know what's funny? I feel on set I need to check with people. I need to kind of
Like other cast members?
Or the
writers,
director.
the
The
writers and
writers.
directors.
Be like,
Yeah.
hey, what on a scale of 1 to
Yeah.
10, how Aaron Sorkin-y are we going to
Exactly,
be with this?
and
Yeah.
be and there's some people who are like, no, you got to follow the text, because we
Right.
also have script supervisors who are like, hey,
Right.
you missed
You
this
missed
line.
that,
You're like,
yeah.
oh
Line,
no,
we gotta,
Totally.
yeah. But there, with children and everything, it didn't need to be super spot on. It was just like, as long as you got the message, you hit these key points. So kind of like, in commercials where we have to hit the tag, we have to hit the product. Like, as long as you get the thesis of like your lines, you can kind of like mess it up a bit. But like new original thoughts are sometimes harder, I would say.
Can you elaborate on that?
I would say like we would have to stick more closer to the text versus like,
okay.
let's say in animation, I can make random noises, not random noise, but like more animated kind of noises of like he's slipping down or something.
Yeah.
We don't really need to do that in film and TV. We just do that with our physical bodies or kind of our thoughts being like, oh God, I'm going to die. Oh no. And you don't need to say that or do anything. like
Right,
that.
because you're physically affected, so it shows in your
Correct.
face, so that gets the message across.
Yeah. So it's kind of like trusting in yourself.
For sure.
Yeah.
Now, on the opposite, is there anything from film and TV that's happened that you've been like, oh, I've never done that in the booth? That's actually great.
Funny enough, I would say breathing.
Ooh.
Really?
A change.
You're
in how
talking
I
my
breathe.
language here.
Yeah,
Expand,
I know,
This
buddy.
guy,
I
this
know,
guy
man.
loves being on breath, man.
Expand, man.
Man, you wake up and you're like, yeah,
It's a new day. Yeah.
when it's a quiet moment,
Yeah.
most animation, people think in broad strokes. Like theater transitioning into animation is very, I think, easier than film into animation.
Okay.
Just because how big you need to go, right? Like how you have to fill the stage. It's the same thing with animation for kids. You want to kind of grab their attention and stay there.
I don't want to cut you off, but I have a thought.
Yeah.
But you could keep going with your thought, and then I'll jump back in.
Thanks for letting us know you had a
Sure,
thought,
man. Yeah,
Jared.
thanks,
I
man.
had a thought.
Yeah.
But like,
Good for you, buddy.
It's a big deal for
Are you
you guys.
practicing? That's great, man. But with like something like adult animation, where they don't want overly kooky voices, they want like your grounded performance.
Right.
Yeah.
Film and TV can come in and really help you, because
I mean, in terms of making it more personal
Correct.
and less projected.
correct, and
Okay.
trusting in how you're breathing to kind of get that character out.
Yeah.
Because let's do a Bakugan to like BoJack Horseman.
Great.
As an example.
Yeah, totally
Bakugan,
different.
you would be like, Dan, I'm really upset with you. This is not how we do things.
Yeah.
Like really.
There's a certain gravel in the voice.
Yes.
With like a lifted of the palate that you're pushing
Yeah,
out.
like
a shape.
projection. Like,
Yeah.
A shape. Yeah, yeah.
a
There's a shape
you
to
have to
it.
maintain, the diaphragm engage, versus like, Dan, dude, there's a way we have to do these things.
that feels more film and TV-esque.
You understand what I'm saying, right? Like
Right.
we can't.
And you're
we
saying
can't
that
just-
would more align with like a BoJack.
correct.
Yeah.
Where now it's so much more grounded because you're breathing, you're more in touch with it, right? You're
Right.
not trying to maintain a shape just to be like, I'm an anime. No, you're like, I'm
in
trying
the
to.
booth, yeah.
And the goal is to try and bring that into anime, so
Yeah.
that people are like, oh, it's not just caricature.
they connect with it on a
Correct. Right, it's
personal
a
level.
yeah.
Yeah, like some of the saddest scenes that I still watch to this day
Yeah.
are from anime.
Bro.
Straight up.
Which one?
Oh,
I'm
I
putting you
mean,
on the spot.
if we're gonna go for it,
I
go
did
for
not
it.
know you were in it. Like this, I don't know if you're just blowing
I think
smoke
this is why
because
we're
he's
cool.
I'm
bro.
not,
Yeah.
I'm not a. I'll admit, I'm not a full-on weeb because any weebs watching will call me out.
What the fuck is a weeb?
Don't worry about it.
Do your research. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
If you don't know,
Rob,
no,
add a little description underneath.
like man, like it's a little basic, but like
Yeah.
Jiraiya's death in Naruto,
Oh hell yeah!
like also the whole pain fight, like
Of course.
like with Hinata and stuff.
Yeah, with the
that
sad music in the background. Yeah.
also half the moments in Attack on Titan.
yes.
Attack
facts.
on Titan is probably one of the best
idea.
shows I've seen ever, anime or not
All right.
anime.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna
that's
jump
great.
in and just say,
Let's go.
and I think the audience will resonate with this. When Ash is lying there and Pikachu's
I
like,
literally
When
was gonna
Ash
say
is
that.
lying there, yes,
Bro, I
yes.
literally was gonna say that was my like
Bro,
crying
that
moment.
one, I'm getting affected right now.
Yeah.
That one fucking hurts.
Yeah,
And for all you weebs out there that don't know what we're talking about, figure it out.
Watch it.
yeah.
Did
No,
I say that word right? It's weebs.
we, gosh, you're doing so well. You're doing so
Well
well.
done, buddy. Well done.
Um,
But yeah,
yeah, no, they really connect you when you make it more human that way.
And I think that's why I love animation, because you're not expecting these human moments. You're not expecting Fry from Futurama to like weep about
Yeah.
the loss of his dog, and
And
you're
that
like,
too, the dog when it's waiting out there. Oh,
right,
Dude, that's a moment.
yeah,
that is a human.
yeah.
Just
And you can feel it right now, even in our breath
Yeah,
and how we're
man.
talking.
Yeah.
Just we're having this
Yeah.
shared
Brings
mourning.
us back down to planet Earth for
And
a
it's,
second.
it's a cartoon.
Yeah.
It's fictional.
It's
but we
real
act-
though.
we
They're
feel
all
it.
it may be fiction on the screen in terms
Yeah.
of it's not born into this world, but like
it's a
they're,
real story.
they're
It's
all
a
our
real
memories.
emotion.
They're all of our
Yeah.
associations,
Yeah.
whether it's the dog in Futurama or Naruto or whatever. It
Yeah.
it reminds you of something or a part of yourself.
Yeah. And I think to like actually truly answer your question of like, what do I get from animation to film and film to animation?
Yeah.
It's the same of the pursuit of authenticity,
Mm.
of living in these crazy circumstances, but believing in it and allowing who's ever watching to be like, yeah, buy that.
It's
Yeah.
crazy because I think the analogy that I give a lot of the time with my students when understanding tone and rhythm and genre
Right.
is the difference between two pieces of television that I think are geniuses in their own right. One of them is The Sopranos.
Yeah.
And the other one is Hannah Montana.
Hell yeah.
And
That's a
if you
Okay.
no, seriously, because
Yeah.
if you take James Gandolfini as Tony
Yeah.
Soprano and throw him into the world of Hannah Montana, the world of Hannah Montana, the cast, the crew, they're not going to go, whoa,
Yeah.
look at what, all right, everyone, fuck what we were doing. We're going to now do this objectively better acting.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to copy that. They're going to look at him and go, bro, this ain't that kind of party. That's not the world that we're living in here.
Makes
And
sense.
so while we as an audience, as different audience members in different ages, resonate with different pieces on a different level,
Yeah.
you have to understand the world you're a part of, but then bring in authenticity to that.
Exactly. And I think that's part of the dance of being an actor. Knowing the tone, knowing kind of like,
Huge.
are you doing a comedy? Are you doing a series?
Yeah.
Is it a kid's show? Is it an adult show? Like you can kind of figure out what am I allowed to do? What can I do?
Yeah.
And you can do research if you want, if you're not familiar with it.
Yeah,
but
just watch stuff.
yeah, they all fit in different parts of life.
Mm-hmm.
And it requires different parts, but you can still find authenticity in everything you do. Yeah.
100%. And so when you're then practicing with the craft of the voice specifically, a lot of people watch cartoons and anime and like, oh, I would love to do that, but they don't have a good sense of their voice. So what were some of the things that really you got activated in your voice? Did you go about it through like singing training, or was it about certain speech patterns? How did you approach developing your voice?
You know, truth be told, I don't have singing. I'm not a good singer. I was the answering machine to my university's like phone system,
No way.
and I never thought I
Wait,
had a
like
good
the
voice.
whole university?
Yeah, it would be like, hey, like, welcome to the University of Windsor. If you know the person you're calling, press this. Like, I did all their
Wow.
things, and it like for free because I was a student.
Yeah.
And after that moment, I was like, oh, I have a good voice. Oh, okay. And then started kind of working on, and I think this is the greatest issue, getting past not liking the sound of your voice when you listen to it
Oh
back.
my God, yeah.
That weird feedback of
Even
like,
TV and film actors
I
like
was
see
gonna
that.
say, seeing yourself on film, you're like, oh, I look so stupid. Oh, I'm so
Yeah.
not believable.
You're like, oh, look, there's a double chin there, and
It's just
you're
your
not
own
focusing on.
self-conscious.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
And I think for me, it was getting past that, getting. What do you got?
How did you get past that?
You
Was
have.
there-
It's like cognitive behavior therapy. You just have to expose yourself over and over again and
Mhm.
ask the right questions or think the proper way, which is, don't think about should I have lost 10 extra pounds before I did this
Yeah.
scene. It's more, do I buy it?
Mm.
Do I
Right.
buy this character? Do I buy this is a 13-year-old kid with an evil dark dragon? Do I
Yeah.
buy he's a sensitive parent? Do I buy this? Forget the I don't like this or I don't like that. That's always going to be there, but your job is to be focused.
Okay, well,
And- yeah.
speaking of not liking things, I'm going to throw three
Let's
words
go.
at you, and I just
All
want
right.
you to react.
Cool.
Oh, wow.
Were you ready?
You want to just save time?
No, this is mine.
Like a scary
All right,
twins.
fine.
Okay.
All right, let's do it. One.
No. I don't want to fuck it up. So
All right, fine.
I think I know it though.
Okay.
Okay.
Hoot hoot coo.
Oh my god. All right.
Talk to us
I didn't
about.
fuck it up.
Talk to us about.
About
talk
hoot
to us
hoot
about hoot
coo.
hoot coo. Talk to us about it.
We do our research, bro.
Oh,
we don't
no.
just shoot shit here, man.
See, he just sunk into his chair.
He's like, shit's getting fucking
So
real now.
my girlfriend does that all the time as a means to
Yeah.
like haunt me for when I used to over practice.
Okay.
So because the danger of being in the booth alone is you're like, it has to be perfect. Just like when we, I think, do self-tapes
Yeah.
at home, the danger is I'm going to work on this for hours.
You fall into that abyss of never knowing if it's right
Correct.
or good enough.
Or it could always
yeah.
be better. I could
Yeah.
always do something a little different.
And maybe it could, but you're fighting for 1 or 2%. And that's like kind of where I'm in and out of like self-tape of any sort in 45 minutes. And that's getting the script to sending it out. Because
You from when you get
When
the
I get the
script to when
script,
you send it out,
correct.
that's a 45-minute.
45 minutes.
So, wow.
Yeah, because
Okay.
I simply don't want to dwell. Because I find, when have we ever sat down and dwelled on, I think, an artistic experience and was like, this was a good idea.
Yeah.
So Hoot Hoot Coo, just for context, was an audition during the pandemic for an old Japanese teacher. I know you guys already know this, but for context for
Oh, please.
your
Yeah, yeah,
folks.
yeah.
Go.
And it was it was a Japanese teacher who was like, oh, I love the sound of these birds, and they'd always go hoot hoot coo, hoot hoot coo. My girlfriend heard me do that for hours, and obviously I didn't get it, but my brain at the time was so focused on I need to be perfect, I need to do this successfully. Meanwhile, feelings versus facts. This was for like an 80-year-old Japanese man.
Right.
There was no way I was gonna book this role
Right.
over like an actual
80-year-old man,
80-year-old
yeah.
Japanese man. But in my brain at the time, being perfect superseded logic.
Mhm.
And I think that was the most valuable lesson of like, oh, if I find truth, it can be messy, it can be imperfect. And I think people want to see that way more than look at how hoot hoot coo I am
Right.
kind of thing.
Yeah, but that also
Yeah.
that transfers differently in the world of TV and film versus
Yes.
animation because sure in TV and film again depends on the project and
Right.
the tone or whatever. We want to see those insecurities. We want to see those imperfections because it makes it more human.
Makes it more real.
Whereas in animation, sure, there are, like the wallas that you were talking about.
Yeah.
Those are like when a character stumbles or is uncertain or scared, like sure, but there still has to be a certain kind of crispness and specificity for the mechanics of recording.
Of course, yeah.
So how do you balance those? How does Hoot Hoot Coo apply to those respectively?
I would say obviously work on your technique and work on your breathing exercises, your enunciation, how you deliver, connecting to your diaphragm. But then at some point you just have to let that go and trust it's there.
Mhm.
Like yeah,
Like muscle memory.
yeah, like if you garble something, yeah, obviously do it again. But if it's like, yeah, I understand the clarity of thought and it's messy, but I kind of get it. Yeah, I would say the pursuit of ease and authenticity comes in after you've done the work of working on your craft, your instinct, how you breathe. and,
That's
connecting it.
really important because
Yeah.
I think when we hear things like trusting that it's there
Yeah.
or letting it being okay not being perfect, it weirdly gives people an out to not put in the work.
Yes.
And whether it's trusting your technique or what you were saying about how, it only takes me 45 minutes once I get the audition to submitting it. Sure, it takes you 45 minutes, but that's because you've developed all of these skills.
Yeah.
You're trusting it and relying on it.
Yeah.
You can afford to take only 45 minutes now.
And granted, these are for smaller roles. Like if it was a large recurring or a lead, yeah, I'd take way more time
Yeah.
into investigating it because it requires more time.
Mhm.
But if it's say a commercial or the fry cook of a role or something,
You either look the part or you don't.
there you go. And so you're
Yeah.
like, cool, I get this. I
And
know
it's
what
also
it is.
where your place is in the story, right? If you're
Correct.
just to move along the story
There you go.
and you're not really doing anything but showing a relationship between two characters,
Yeah.
how much more could you really do?
So
Yeah.
actually, that's a really interesting point because
Right.
we were talking before about how understanding your place in the story is this, a supporting or a lead. And I know in the world of TV and film, and this is what I'm talking about here specifically for network procedurals. You have to understand if your character is there to uplift the story of the lead,
Right.
or if you're there to create a what's the word I'm looking for, like a wall for the lead.
Obstacle, yeah.
Yeah, an obstacle. Thank you.
Yeah.
How does that apply to the world of animation? Because, again, it's just the voice. So how do you
Yeah.
adjust if you're there to support someone's story or there to counteract another character? How do you adjust for those?
I mean, I think it's the same, truthfully.
You think it just you don't need to make any adjustments to the voice at all?
I mean, when you say adjustments to the voice, like, do you mean like, oh, would I have to change the character entirely? Like, would
Well,
like,
I guess.
yeah,
Fair enough. Fair enough.
yeah.
I guess what I'm saying is like, when you are working on TV and film, when you understand where your character is in the story,
Right.
you can either spend more or less time in certain moments, letting that moment breathe and resonate.
Yeah.
But the reason you can do that is because we are seeing the look in that person's eye. We are seeing the gears turning
Yeah.
as they're processing or not
Yeah.
processing something. With animation, you don't have that luxury.
Yeah.
So how do you get that same impact without the visual element?
Well, it's a marriage of Walla and how you deliver the line,
Mhm.
of how you react when you see that the lead is maybe going through something.
Right.
How do you gently or choose what kind of tactics you would like say to the person? And of course, you figure it out with your director.
Yeah.
You figure it out.
That's a
Right,
good
I was
point.
gonna say
Yeah.
you come in with a version, and the director might
Correct.
be like, "I actually try it like this."
But
There
you
you
still
go.
have to have an opinion about what
Of
you want
course.
to do with it.
Yeah. And most of the time, you just got to throw it out if it doesn't work.
Yeah.
If you're like, oh, but this means something. They're like,
Yeah.
this is Paw Patrol. And you're like,
Yeah.
right.
It ain't
Never
that
mind.
serious, bro.
Yeah.
This is Hannah Montana,
There
not
you
The
go.
Sopranos. Yeah.
Exactly. Like, it was funny. I just did Mistletoe earlier this year,
Mhm.
and my character like gets knocked unconscious, and I was like, oh, hey guys, the scene after, should my face be all like, messed up because I just came from the hospital? They're like, it's Hallmark. Don't. This ain't,
Great.
this ain't that.
I think that's so important to hear to have people hear you say that, because I think when we're auditioning for things, people get overly sensitive and they fall down that rabbit hole of worrying about things that don't matter.
Yeah.
And so understanding when something is, guys, it's a Hallmark, it doesn't matter that much.
And something to add on is like with animation, I found myself being way more successful when I stopped putting on a voice.
Oh, please elaborate on that.
Yeah, let's
Everybody
dive in there,
thinks animation, you have to do zany and crazy stuff, which of course you do. But
Sometimes, yeah.
Sometimes. But I realized the second I stopped trying to be perfect with the hoot hoot coo,
Mhm.
and I started just talking in this voice, maybe heightened a bit, maybe young, like
Like
I
pitch
can
it up a
younger.
little
Yeah.
bit, maybe a
Maybe
little more
I
in the
can pitch
nose.
it up just like here, but
Yeah.
then most of the time it's still me finding the sensitivity or, hey, I don't know where we're going with this.
Like we can kind of still achieve who I am through the character, and I think
Mhm.
listeners will trust that because I've done the homework of who I am.
Right.
Mm.
Versus I'm putting on a voice. Do you believe this is not a mask kind of thing?
What is that homework of discovering who you are?
You gotta let yourself go. You gotta sit with letting yourself go. I found the pandemic really. I tell people like I think I was half baked until I was in the pandemic, where
Right.
you have nothing but yourself and
Mhm.
maybe the people you bubble with, and you have to kind of ask yourself, what am I doing with this life? Everything's ending. What do I want to do?
Mhm.
And you have to kind of agree this is an absurd thing. It's beautiful, but it's absurd.
Yeah.
And that's when I like grew out my hair. Did you meet me before?
I think I
Yeah.
met you once pre-pandemic.
Okay.
Like I think we knew of each other
Yeah,
pre-pandemic.
I think so.
And we'd like bumped into each other in
Yeah.
passing at something, but I only like shook your hand and like had a conversation
48,
with
right?
you. What's that?
At 48.
At the 48, yeah.
Yeah.
So this is after the reopening.
Yes. And so like, how would you describe me when you first met me? Not to put you on the spot.
Well, I mean, so you mean pre-pandemic?
Yeah, pre-pandemic.
I mean, when I met you pre-pandemic, I think it was like at Casting Central.
That makes sense.
And so I think my vision of you was sort of like you in audition mode.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't know if I got a sense of who you were, but I saw you as
Yeah.
focused. I saw you as focused. I saw
Right.
you as driven. Not that you wouldn't be focused or driven now, but there was
Yeah.
the way you walked, there was like an intention behind it, you know?
And what's funny is like, deep down, that was probably me being anxious, wanting to be perfect, hoot hoot coo.
Insecurities,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
Literally same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the transition is like when you let go and remember, like, oh, we're all just trying to figure this out as we go.
Yeah.
I think that's where people started gravitating towards me a little more,
Mhm.
where I wasn't trying to be like, hi, how are you? Like, this is great. Cool. Let's focus. It was more of like, what's up?
I'm just a human. This
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
just who I am. This is what
We'll
I
just
got.
figure it out as we go.
It's so funny because I
Yeah.
remember, so I lived in New York for a number of years.
Oh, nice.
And when I
Jealous.
came,
I know.
you're American. You can literally go whenever you
Are you
want.
American?
I'm half American.
Don't even
Oh,
get me
jealous.
started on this. But when I came here,
I want to get him started.
this is this is my experience with it. So
Right.
this is not everyone's experience with the Toronto theater community, but I remember coming back and doing some musical theater auditions coming here, and you know, I didn't really know the lay of the land. I didn't know the players. I didn't know, you know, the different production companies. So I was really learning. And I found it so interesting because, you know, I was in like the waiting room waiting to go in, and you can hear the other actors singing.
Yeah.
And it was so interesting because like the 3 or 4 guys who went before me all sang songs that are on the like do not sing list in New York.
Interesting.
And I was like, wait, you can do that here? So I was already in this like weird place.
Yeah.
But I would then walk in, and a lot of the people who would go into these audition rooms would come in with this high energy of like, oh my God, hey, so good to see you. Or like, girl, love you. You were so great. And that's awesome if that's authentically them.
Sure.
That's just not authentically me. So then I would come in, I'd be like, hey, what's up, guys? And I would just see them shift in their seat of like, oh,
Yeah.
who is this?
Yeah.
And I would then talk to the accompanist, and we'd, you know, collaborate in that moment. And they were just like, I could see that they were confused by me
Yes.
because I wasn't coming in with that kind of energy.
Exactly.
And that happened the first time. And I was like, oh, that's probably me just being nervous and projecting because I'm new here and whatever.
Right.
But then it kept happening.
Yeah.
And I kept seeing them like be interested, but not know what to make of it because I
Yes.
wasn't doing the thing.
Yeah.
And I think that was the thing that made me find more of a home in TV and film. That was, in my opinion, for just me, I found that was more embraced and more celebrated. And I felt the ability to sort of like stop white knuckling the steering wheel and relax a little into it.
It's funny you bring up theater because I don't do theater, and I went to theater school.
Well, I was going to ask
yeah.
if would you ever do it again? Because I think you have a
Yeah.
stronger sense of identity. You have a great sense of voice. So theater
Thanks.
feels like a perfect.
Yeah, it would be fun to dabble in it, but the truth is it's like, I think the reason why a lot of my classmates didn't want to work with me was because I would always want to find the quiet reactions. And you know what I mean? Like when you're watching, like, you know, and I'm so far away, you're like, oh, he's not emoting, he's not doing anything, he's not like, you know,
He's not
indicating.
showing. He's not. Yeah, indicating.
Yeah.
Totally.
And so like I'd be down to go back. I've dabbled a bit, but it's more of just like, I don't know, I love film and TV. I love voiceover because it's so close. And maybe it's my upbringing of like quiet trauma, but just like that's where you bring that out, right? Like,
So you'll find this interesting because I did. So I booked before the pandemic. I booked a musical,
nice.
and literally a week later, the pandemic hit. So everything got shut down, and like 2 and a bit years later, they came back and they were like, we would love to still have you. And I was a different person.
Yeah.
And I almost said no.
Wow.
I almost said no to it because I was like, I didn't feel like I resonated with it anymore. I was a new person. I was a new artist, and I don't feel like approaching the work that way sat with me.
Right.
And it was only like a 7-week contract, but then I realized I just missed singing with people. So I did it. So glad I did. But I remember having a conversation with the director on day 1 of like, hey, you know me from 2 years ago. And I don't know how you work. You only know a little bit of how I work because of the little bit of stuff we did in the callback.
Right.
We have 4 weeks of rehearsal. I need you to give me like a week and a half. You guys are all the way over here with this energy, this way of working. I'm completely on the other side. I promise you I'll meet you in the middle. You just got to let me do my thing and work my way there.
Right.
And I promise you I will free myself up to be more of what you guys want, but by bringing myself to it. And to this day, when I talk to that director, he appreciates that conversation so much.
Yeah.
And to his credit, he let me do my thing. And I think we found some like really cool stuff from a show that, you know, has some depth to it, but it could have very easily just been a replication of something.
Yeah.
As opposed to something that I felt proud of.
That's great, man. I mean, it's finding your authentic self in whatever you do.
Yeah.
And outside of acting, it's finding your authentic self because, you know, life informs what we do and vice versa.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good on you, dude. I mean,
Thanks,
that
man.
no, truthfully, that conversation with the director is hard.
Yeah. I don't know if you can do that in TV.
film
It's
TV,
like, I
yeah.
don't, like maybe if you're
Yeah.
doing a film and you're shooting for a long period of time, you can do that. But for something where you have a rehearsal process, yeah, you can.
But I also want to say, I
absolutely.
think it depends on your part in that film. If you're the
Yes.
lead,
Correct. I was the lead of
yeah.
the show.
if you're like
so,
a number 2, number 3, sure. But
Correct.
if you're like a
If you're
day
Frank,
player,
it's like,
number
bro, I need you
4.
to show
You know
up,
what I mean?
walk in, put the mug down, get the
Yeah.
fuck out.
if you're,
Yeah.
like if you're security guard number 2,
I gotta,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
will meet you halfway
Yeah.
to walk that. I need a week. I'm not.
Yeah. I
I'm not
promise
there
I
yet.
will hit my mark
I
and
will-
put my mug down. I just need like 17 days.
Give me 17 days.
yeah,
Paid
yeah,
17
yeah.
days.
That's so funny.
So speaking of the pandemic,
Yeah.
I we obviously your research looked at some past interviews.
Mhm.
In
Right.
some interviews, you did say that you found you had a lot of success during the pandemic.
I did. Yes.
Do you think there was a specific reason because of that? I mean, you were just saying how you spent a lot of time with yourself.
Yeah.
You kind of got to know yourself. Do you think that's
Yeah.
what fueled your success, I guess, mid or post pandemic, that you were able to
Yeah.
kind of figure out who you were? Or was there something else that happened in that time?
Yeah.
You
I
know-
mean, we can't deny that like Black Lives Matter meant a lot and it changed and shifted our world. And I
Mm.
think a lot of animation was the only thing working while the pandemic was happening.
Yeah.
And so a boost in diversity happened. And I think, I was just one of like, there's like 5 Asian dudes who can voice act in the city or like who have like a resume of animation.
There's you, there's me.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
that's 2.
Yeah, that's 2.
But basically,
That's
Rob's
wild.
laughing.
That's wild.
Insane. But it was also I left my agency in the middle of the pandemic
Yeah.
because I found myself just being like, okay, if I'm like rebuilding or choosing this life,
Yeah.
I might as well do the crazy thing. And my agents that I was leaving were like, dude, this is a bad idea. There's nothing out there.
Bad idea for you to leave the agency.
Yes, they were like, this is a lateral move.
Yeah.
Do not leave. Like, stay with us. And
Yeah.
I was like, you only give me 7 auditions a year.
So
Yeah.
I'm so glad you
Yeah.
brought this up because in that same interview,
Yeah.
you did talk
I
about
did, yeah.
your agent.
Yes.
And one of the questions, and I have my way of answering it, but like one of the questions I get a lot is, how do you know when it's time to leave your agent? How much time and grace do you give it? So
Mhm.
what was that experience like for you of going through something like the pandemic and making a bold choice to leave an agency there, which it could have been a lateral move.
Oh, yeah.
But then you felt, what was that moment where you felt it was the right time and how did you navigate that?
Honestly, it was Kim's Convenience. It was,
Okay.
I had booked Kim's Convenience because like I'd only auditioned 7 or 8 times a year for film and TV.
Right.
And I'd always book one thing a year
Mhm.
that I was like, hey, Kim's Convenience during a pandemic, this is kind of cool. Is there any movement? Can I like get a little more, like some more auditions?
Opportunity,
And she
yeah.
kept being like, no, there's nothing for you.
So,
Yeah.
but at
That's
that
wild.
point,
Yeah.
were you also getting a lot of voice work? Any voice work?
I was getting some voice work, but it was mainly like if they needed an Asian kid or
I see.
you see what I mean? So I was kind of pigeonholed into if there's an Asian role,
Mm.
we'll give it to Julie.
This is pre-pandemic.
Yeah, pre-pandemic. And then we're with the same agency. I
Mhm.
met them and I just felt different.
Yeah.
I was like,
Same.
I'll give it a shot. We'll see how it goes. If it ends up in flames.
Can we expand what felt
Yeah.
different about it specifically?
They cared. They genuinely cared. Like in that first interview, they were like, "Yeah, you got some good stuff. We want you to tape, but like we think you're pretty funny. We think we can like maybe shape you in this kind of way." So like actual managerial kind of stuff.
Mm.
Wasn't just you're on their roster, we'll throw shit at the wall and see what
what
happens.
exactly. They
Felt
were like,
more engaged.
we had an idea, and
Yeah.
like I know their voice department wasn't too strong, and I came in with Bakugan and all
Right.
these other credits, so it was kind of like more meeting each other.
Right. Right.
Versus, I think when I first joined this agency, I was still in university, so I
Mhm.
was like beholding to them, and I was like, "Oh, I can never leave them." They
Right.
gave me my chance,
Right.
but I was like,
Like you took a chance on me when I had nothing, whereas when you moved, it's like
Yeah.
we could kind of both offer each other
Correct.
something here.
Correct.
So we're on like an even. Okay.
yeah, and haven't looked back. It's risky. I've lost a
Yeah.
lot of sleep on it. And do you guys find being an actor is you just have to like sit with anxiety, like it's a bedfellow that
I'm
you
gonna
just chill
say,
with?
and correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say, being a Jew, I sit with a lot of
Oh
anxiety.
yeah,
Stop.
okay, that's fair. That's very fair. Yeah.
Yeah. I would say that is a part of it for sure.
Yes.
No, I do think, I don't know if I personally would call it anxiety.
Right.
But I think the amount that you have to be aware of how often you're questioning things.
Yeah.
And like, I look at it from the perspective of every day I wake up and I'm at like a fork in the road.
Hmm.
And I always have the option to take either path. And some days I don't want to take the artist path. And that's okay. Some
Yeah.
days I'm just like, fuck it. I want to go be with my family. I want to, go work on this thing that has nothing to do with my craft just as a human. But I do find that like more often than not, I want to take that artist path. I want to double down. I want to try it again. And for me, this is just the way I look at it.
Yeah.
The more I can find ease in finding that path, that signifies to me that this is what I'm meant to do. But if I find that it is either becoming more frequently difficult to take that path, or I find myself I'm not on that path for even longer, that's when I start to question it. But the being at that fork in a road every day does make me process it a certain anxious way.
It's very fascinating. You use the analogy of fork in the road every day, because like imagine that in real life, if you woke up and every day.
No, that's insane.
A little, and it's kind of like, oh, if you chose flow, both of those choices come and go. The channels change every day, and you kind of can't fight it, right? You can't. It's not a conscious decision. You just like wake up and sometimes.
I see what you're getting at.
Yeah.
I
therapize or anything.
No,
but
no,
just,
no, no. You're totally right.
No
and
therapize.
maybe saying that it's one or the other is too binary of a way
And
of
it's black and
looking at
white
it.
when you say
Yeah,
it.
because I do think that when I'm an artist, I am allowing parts of my real life to come in,
And
and
vice
when
versa.
and vice versa. So
Yeah.
it really is a back and forth. But
Yeah.
I guess when I say the two paths,
Yeah.
I guess it's maybe it's not about being an artist, but maybe it's more about the ability to believe in yourself.
Because why is it separate, right? Like because are you
Right.
not an artist when you hold someone you love? Or
No,
you,
I definitely
right?
am. When I hang out with my non-artist friends, and I'm like the most emotional ass person in the room, they can tell I'm still an
Bro,
artist.
even when you
They
hang
can-
out with your artist friends,
I
you're the
know.
most emotional
I'm
ass
still the
person
most
in the room.
emotional ass person in the room. That's fair. Fair enough. I am
mean,
who I am. Know
I mean, even
thyself.
setting this up, I was like, damn.
Yeah,
I was like, okay, let's go,
yeah.
man.
No, but you're
Yeah.
right. It is, those paths are parallel, and it's like even on a given day, I can hop back and forth between one and the other. But I do think there is still an element of choice there on the daily in terms of how much you want to commit to one thing or the other.
Cool, nice.
I think for me, it's just and I've always talked about this, like just ebbs and flows, man.
Yeah.
Like some days I'm just like, I'm crushing it. Like, I feel great. I'm doing good work.
Yeah.
I'm in class. Other days I'm like, what the fuck am I doing?
Yeah.
Like, I just don't.
And I think every actor has that. And to kind of go up, we're always at a fork in the road of like, is this still
Viable?
viable?
Yeah. Is
Am
this still an
I
option?
still on a good trajectory, or am I crazy right now?
Have I lost it?
Yeah.
I've felt that so many times on set where I'm like, it's gone.
While you're on set.
While I'm on set, I'm like, I'm not funny anymore.
That's crazy, because I feel like the set would be one of the places where you feel the most affirmed in that.
No, well, it depends on who you are as a person.
Yeah, fair enough.
Let's be real. But sometimes I'm so confident in the audition because it's a potential,
Right.
versus the actual real life of it, where like, oh, the stakes are high,
Pressure's on. This is
pressure's
money.
on. I'm working with like people I grew up with, kind of thing. I'm like, how do I impress them? And it's the wrong kind of thinking, but
So, but in that situation, you're like, I'm on set. I don't feel funny, or I'm not funny. I lost it. But you still got a job to do.
yeah.
So what do you do?
How do you still show up?
Oh man, I find for me, which I need to work on, but it's like finding the friends on that set. So for me, it's always hair and makeup because you know they make you look good. I'm always like, am I fucking up? And they're like, no, you're doing good.
Oh,
I'm
like you ask them
I
straight up.
genuinely,
Straight up, yeah.
Because look at like what we do. It is so inherently dependent on the receiver. Most of what we do, it doesn't matter how. Like I was watching your interviews. It doesn't matter if you were feeling it or not.
Yeah.
It's
Matters how it shows, or how the person watching it feels, or ultimately the
and if
director.
they're like, we didn't notice that at all, then I'm like, perfect.
Yeah.
I can panic as much as I want.
Yeah.
And it won't bleed through.
Won't matter. Yeah.
Yeah. And of course, it's like trusting the text, trusting the crew, trusting these people.
But in that same vein, it's like, there's what you're feeling, but what you're feeling is put through the filter of the text, which is put through the filter of the lens, which is put through the filter of the eye of the director, which is put through the lens of the editor.
Yep.
And then it's put through the lens of the, like it's
riding a bike.
Yeah.
And everyone's a gear, and you're like, do you
Literally.
think about all these things, or do you just ride the bike?
Yeah.
Yeah. And go with the flow.
100%.
Oh,
And keep going.
You okay? You just hit my watch.
I'm fine. It's fine. Is your watch okay?
Yeah, I mean, it's a little scratched up.
All right.
We'll
Well,
deal
that's
with
fine.
it after. I think I like to think of it as the idea as an actor. I mean, in one of our other interviews, it was talked about like, you got to take off all these masks and be vulnerable.
Mhm.
But I love the idea of, as an actor, you're an instrument in the orchestra.
Yeah.
You're just a whole group creating something,
Correct.
and you're just a piece of that. You're not all
Yeah.
of that.
Yeah.
What clicked for me was realizing it's a collaboration.
Yeah.
It's not a test. It's not an exam.
Yeah.
You're bringing in an idea.
Come in with an
interpretation.
idea for sure.
Like, I love it. I explained to my grandma, who's 92. I've probably said this in other interviews, but what we do as a job, auditions. And I'm like, oh, it's an exam with like 100 people going for the test or a job interview.
Yeah.
And then it's down to like maybe 5.
Yeah.
And then maybe 3, 2, and then one of them out of like 100 or 200 people get the job.
Mhm.
And she's like, how are you okay?
And you're like, I'm not.
And I was just like, I'm fine.
Grandma,
I'm
that's
great. How are you?
Starts doing like 1,000 different voices.
Yeah, exactly. You still love me? Okay.
That's all that matters.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
So maybe jumping around here a little bit.
Yeah.
I want to go back to that thought when I had the thought.
Yes, you had
I
a
did-
quiet thought.
Yes,
Yes.
your awesome thought.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
I'm so
very
sorry.
exciting. You're just a cool guy, man.
Don't apologize to him ever.
No.
Oh, okay. Damn.
So the thought was, when you're in the booth,
Yeah.
it's obviously not a visual medium. It's all voice. I mean, it is
Yeah.
a visual medium in the sense of there's an art director, there's someone animating.
But there's
it.
nothing there. Yeah.
How physical are you in the booth?
Oh, well, it's
Does it-
funny. Some people are super physical.
yeah.
I do a lot of hand gestures because there's a music stand right here. And if
Yeah.
you bump it, it will affect
Pick
the
up
thing.
and then
Yeah.
pick it again.
If you have pages, it'll do that. So a lot of what I do is like maybe expressions with the hands. So like a conductor, I'll find like I need to go high here. So I'm like, whoa, this is crazy, or something like that, just in order to kind of get the vibe.
And for our
Yeah.
audience that's listening on Spotify or
Sure.
Apple Podcasts, he's doing
Oh,
like
right.
like spirit fingers up in the
Yeah,
air,
pretty
kind
much.
of like raising the
He's
roof.
raising the roof.
Yeah.
Yeah.
or like in Bakugan, I would do a lot of like, because we can see the animatic. If Magnus's hand was like outstretched, I would imitate
Do it. Yeah, exactly.
Imitate to just get that physical influence in the voice.
Yeah.
It might be just like molecules of a difference, but
Yeah.
it just makes that so much more authentic.
Yeah.
Although I will say, rewatching Magnus, I'm not happy with the work. But
Oh, come on.
No,
man.
no, man.
Magnus is
no,
great.
I think that's the pursuit of an actor. Just never be happy.
I guess. Fair
I think
enough.
that's a fair point.
Fair
enough.
I also want to touch on,
Yeah.
wardrobe when you're in the booth.
Yeah.
Does that, I mean, obviously, like
1000%.
with Paw Patrol, I doubt you're wearing like a collar, but I mean, if that's the
No,
thing,
I mean, no. I guess you could.
Whatever you're into, whatever.
no, no,
well, some
but-
people say they need to have the shoes. Other people say they need the
collar.
The collar. You
I
know?
mean,
no, but like
to each their own.
Yeah.
but like a lot of actors, say like, oh, I start with the shoes, or like,
For voice acting or for
no, for like film
okay.
and TV. I'm not
Yeah.
too sure about voice, but
Okay.
like I know, I think it was for Lincoln, Daniel Day-Lewis like got a watch.
Yeah.
Like little things like that. Does that translate to the booth for you? Are there certain accessories that you wear when you're in the booth? Because again, if
Yeah.
you have a watch or something that bracelet that affects you, but like it
Yeah.
rattles, like you can't wear that.
No, like even these rings I have on, I would take them off.
Yeah.
For me, I don't really need that when it's voiceover because it's the voice.
yeah.
If it
Right.
informs you, please do it. But
Right.
for me, I'm just like, as long as I can do the character, that's all that matters.
Mhm.
Like with film and TV, I love wardrobe. I love the props and stuff
Right.
because in a weird way, you're kind of helping me build the character.
Yeah.
And like we
100%.
never have a conversation, but I'm like, oh, my character would wear these shoes. Or
Right.
if say you're in wardrobe and you're like, yeah, I don't think my hair or like I could wear this suit. It looks a little too tacky.
And
or
they're like,
something."
well, the director wants you to wear it, so shut the fuck
I'm
up.
like, all right, I'll make it work.
Yeah.
If I can negotiate,
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
make it work.
He shows up to his next voiceover
Oh my
gig in a
God.
suit and tie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or a
think I've done
collar,
that
no
yet.
judgment.
I don't know if I'd recommend it, especially with the tie
No.
around your neck.
Bro,
that would
no.
make me feel stiff
For
as
me,
hell.
most of the time, it's like kind of what I'm wearing right now: loose clothing, kind of chill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As long as I'm relaxed and I can move around in it.
yeah.
Because they're like the last thing I did, I was getting tortured by a Yakuza lord.
Yeah.
So I'm screaming like crazy. I don't really want to ruin that take if I'm like doing blood curdling screams.
Well, you can only do so many takes of that in one session.
Well, it depends. Yeah, it depends on your training, but yeah.
Yeah.
Because like I did, I canceled video game
Mhm.
that
Okay.
required me to like choke on poison gas, and I was like, oh, I vocally don't know how
How
to do
much-
this.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I did it, and it was like a 4-hour session, and I remember
That's
walking out.
that's a lot.
Yeah, I remember walking out getting really lightheaded, and I was like, oh,
Yeah.
almost fell.
No,
Like,
I've come
yeah.
out of some recording session because like
Yeah.
my character had like this kind of voice.
What do you do with your soft palate?
I do my best
Okay.
to lift it.
Good.
I
good.
do I know it's gonna live in my throat.
Yeah.
So I'll like try and create. If you're looking at like the face from like a profile
Yeah,
view,
yeah.
I try to pretend there's like this balloon of space in the
Good.
back.
Yeah.
But then like it's still a matter of vocal frying thing. So
Yeah.
I have to like be really careful about when I'm vocal frying versus digging down into
Because it
it.
is like definitely shredding your voice.
Oh,
right? Yeah.
definitely, yeah.
How do you breathe? Sorry, I know this is a weird.
No,
like,
man, this
Where's your place in diaphragm?
So the goal is to be from the diaphragm.
I got a tip for you. Don't do it in the diaphragm. For
Okay.
vocal combat, focus on your rib cage, and when you breathe in, expand it, and then maintain that. It might help because
Like maintain the sense of expansion in the rib cage
Yeah, don't
as you're
think about-
vocal frying.
correct. Don't think
Okay.
about the diaphragm because that's too much power. By having this tension,
Yeah.
you're kind of like I don't
No,
know
but
the
you're-
signs of it.
You're pressurizing it
correct.
closer to the source
Correct.
rather than further down.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
it might help. I mean, like
Yeah.
you might shred your voice again, but yeah,
I know.
it might
Yeah,
help.
I won't be able to record our next episode.
Yeah.
You know.
When did you guys go to fucking med school? Like,
No. Well, no, but I do.
I'd be
I
a
do-
terrible doctor.
I mean, I think the
I could play
the
one on
voice,
TV though.
yeah.
The voice is a very like
Yeah.
biomechanical thing,
yeah, it's an
and
instrument, man. It's
yeah,
your body.
but
You
it's a
gotta-
tough instrument because it's the only one that's internal.
Right.
You can't see it. You can't tell if your string is out of tune.
Yes.
You can't tell if something's on a line or if there's a
It's
crack
just-
in something.
You feel it, right?
It's
If it
all
feels
internal, so you
off.
got to feel your way through it. So
And we've all like lost our voice from karaoke because we were like not breathing
Yeah, man.
properly.
Totally.
Yeah. So we know the feeling.
yeah.
It takes time, but
We gotta wrap it up.
Oh, yeah, okay.
But I want to ask you about Kate Greenway.
okay, cool.
Yeah.
She is the inspiration of why I'm here. To be
Right.
honest, she
And
was. Yeah,
Please,
yeah, but
please, you go for it, bro.
She was my first drama teacher, and she was the person who literally was like, "Why not try acting?"
Mhm.
And
Was this in high school?
high school,
Okay.
yeah. Because do you guys do Career Cruiser? Did you ever do that thing? You know what I'm talking about?
I have no idea what you're talking
It
about.
was like a choose your own adventure clicking like profession thing, and at the
Okay.
end you
He's
would
a
get like
weeb. He wouldn't understand.
That's
I
true.
would.
you get like your top 50 jobs, right?
Yep,
Of what
yep.
you would do. And
And
my
it's like personality. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, do you like
Oh,
talking?
wait,
to
you know
people,
what it
public
is?
speaking? I'm not a weeb, bro. Of course I do.
yeah.
Carry on.
And,
yeah, it's like questions based off
Correct.
of what your career should
And
be.
like my top 3 was like magician, sign maker, and priest or something. And I'm like, I don't want to do any of these.
what all three of these things have in common.
They perform. but my drama teacher was like, hey, like you're only happy, or like you're happiest when you're on stage.
Mhm.
You're happiest when you're in this classroom. You have fun creating. Why not pursue this as
Mhm.
like as a profession? And I think tapping back into that during the pandemic, it was just like, why not? Just why not try it? Why not leave my old agency to try a new one? Why not
Yeah.
let myself kind of grow into who I want to become? And
Mhm.
just why not give myself permission to just go and see?
And did you feel that in addition to her giving you that spark,
Yeah.
were there other follow-up moments? Because as someone who comes from a family of non-artists,
Mm-hmm.
family, one side is immigrants.
Yeah.
Telling my family that I wanted to be an artist, especially halfway through like university or
Yeah.
whatever, that was like, I can still see the look on their faces. I can still
Yeah.
see how their chemistry and lens in which they viewed me shifted.
Yeah.
And so I was dealing with that at a slightly older age than in high school. So
Mhm.
surely there was some sort of moment like that for you as well. Did she
100%.
help you through that?
I think she helped me by just being so positive and encouraging.
Great.
Like,
Sometimes that's all you need.
that's all you need. Because,
Yeah.
when I told my folks who were all immigrants, they thought I was coming out.
That's
You too?
crazy.
Yeah.
Because I've literally
Same
just
thing?
well, it's not that they thought that I was coming out, but
Yeah.
like when my friends who have come out
Yeah.
and they come from really like devout Christian families, when they tell me the experience they had telling their families
Mhm.
who they really were,
Yeah.
I swear to God, it sounds like a similar experience to me
Yeah.
telling my family that I'm an artist.
Yeah. My parents get deathly quiet.
Yeah.
They don't know what to say.
Yeah.
A few days go by and they're like, can you at least please date like a Chinese
Yeah,
boy?
yeah, yeah.
And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
They're like, well, you're an act. You're going to theater school. Doesn't that mean you know? And I'm like, no. What?
Yeah.
I'm just an actor, bro.
Yeah, but it also shows like the preconceived notions and
Right,
and
100%.
the I don't want to say phobia. That's not the right word, but the I guess bias of what you think an actor is.
Right.
And especially when you're like, no, you should be successful. You should do this, this, and this.
Right.
And then I don't know if you've experienced this. Has your family kind of turned now that they're like fully supportive of your?
You
work?
know, they still don't. They do their best to understand. I would say most of my family is fully supportive.
That's good.
I think a lot of them don't know how to be supportive, so they
Yeah.
just try to show up the best they can. But I think it was when they either saw that I wasn't going to give up, they saw other, whether it's getting an agent or when I
Yeah.
got into school in the States, that was a big one. When I
Right.
like called my dad and was like, yeah, this school in New York,
Yeah.
they want me to come. I could hear his voice change. Not that he didn't want to support me from the beginning, but sometimes you just don't know how
Yeah.
to if it's a new world that you're not experienced with.
And I know we got to wrap, but
Yeah.
like, did you find that for a long time you were just trying to prove to them?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
At the very beginning, very beginning,
Yeah.
and even when I like then moved to New York to go to school there was 100% a chip on my shoulder
Me
of
too.
like gotta prove him.
Yep.
Yeah.
And at some point, it's kind of like that fuels you for a long time, but
Right.
Yeah.
you kind of realize it's
That
not
can't
sus-
that
it's
that
not
can't be the thing
sustainable.
that
it's not
drives
finite.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I feel like I hit that wall. Like my folks are now like, oh my God, they saw me on McDonald's. They're like, oh, he's made it. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah, exactly.
not all these other things. They're like, no, McDonald's,
McDonald's
great.
is great.
Yeah.
But
Totally.
once you like, let's say proverbially achieve what you like, you've proved to everyone that
Yeah.
you feel empty.
Yeah.
And I
Right.
think there's something about sitting with like, why are we doing this?
Yeah.
Why do we do this?
Bring it
Like,
back to your why.
Correct.
Yeah, what's keeping you going?
Exactly.
Yeah. As our last question,
Sure.
I'd love that you've spoken so much about finding the truth and finding authenticity, especially because
Yeah.
I think people who aren't actors think it's about being really good liars.
Right.
But leaning into that authenticity, we've been asking all of our guests this question. What inspires you artistically right now? What's been evoking something within you? And it can be,
Yeah.
whether it's a current piece of art, a painting, a piece of film, a song, or it can be something in your personal life. What is
Yeah.
driving you artistically at the moment?
I would say like it's two things. One is my nephew who is like 5 months old right now, just like getting to hold this kid and be like, oh my God, like
Yeah.
the world is so new in your eyes and
Yeah.
Yeah.
you seem excited about everything and it lifts me up. And I think the second one is just like running for council for ACTRA, where I want to like make sure all our members are protected.
Yeah.
People are understanding what's going on and like know their rights and kind of stuff, because like I've gone through so many experiences on set where the unions kind of like saved my life a little, where I'm like, oh yeah, this is really important to be inspired to help other people, be inspired, like community, I think.
Yeah.
Because this can be such a selfish career that
Yeah, man.
at some point you're like, man, I would love to find people who know what we go through
Yeah.
and not find it to be competitive or anything, but just be like, hey, are you doing okay? Are you being paid properly? Like,
Yeah.
did you know your rights kind of
Yeah.
thing? So,
I feel like I don't
Yeah.
even know most of my rights as
I-
well. Like
I-
I need to
Oh,
be more
bro.
educated on that.
oh, me too, man.
Yeah.
I'm learning as I'm going. I'm like, yeah, this is
Yeah.
important. People should know this. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
that though. Community. I think it's important. I just like the
Yeah.
idea of like there's enough room for everyone at the top, you know?
Yeah.
And often like, we often go out for similar roles,
Mm-hmm.
and my girlfriend has a hard time. She's like, how do you not
My dad asked
feel a
that.
type of way about that?
Yeah, especially
I'm
when we
like-
help each other with that audition.
Same roles.
Or,
Yeah, yeah,
or it's
Oh,
like
yeah.
we'll either help each other with the same role, or like I'll get an audition and then message him, or he'll get an audition and message
Yeah.
me and be like, "Bro, did you go out for this?
Yeah.
Because I think
Yeah.
you
We
could."
literally
go-
I just got an audition. I was like, yo, I just want to make sure you're being seen for this, right? He's like, yeah, bro.
Yeah.
but
See,
I
that's
appreciate
good.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you ever feel the ghost of like each other while you're doing the scene though? Like
I
if
don't.
You're working
I
on
know
it?
you can answer for yourself, but like I know for me, I don't, because I'm very aware of like our differences,
Cool.
and I don't even just mean in terms of like has nothing to do with talent or intelligence or anything. It has to do with when I show up on camera, I look different, I sound different, I
Right.
feel different. So
Right.
even if we made the exact same choices and said it the exact same way,
It's gonna be different.
it would have a
Mhm.
different
Yeah.
feel to it. And I
Yeah.
think trusting that those things will elevate whatever version of the character they
Yeah.
want makes me not try to outdo someone else.
Good. Yeah.
That's my perspective. Though.
Yeah, I think
He's
for
gonna say
me,
now, yeah, he does feel like.
Yeah, like I just do my tape, and then in the middle of it, I'll be like, "Holy shit, Daniel!"
That's the wrong move.
yeah.
No, I
You should have breathed.
I think for me, I've just learned to to just draw from like real life experiences and make it
Good.
authentic. And
Yeah.
Even if we do have similar lived experiences, there's also a lot of different lived experiences that we've
Yeah,
had,
for sure.
and how certain things have affected us. There've
Yeah.
been things in our lives where we've been together,
Yeah.
and the same situation has affected us differently.
Nice.
So it's like, I'm just a firm believer of, you just put your work out there, and then there's so many
Yeah.
factors as to whether or not you get it.
That's true.
Um,
Yeah.
And just the idea of like there's enough room for everyone, because
Yeah.
if he books the role that we both go out for, that means that he's not available for the next one that he could go out for, but he can't. So now I'm gonna
So
get
there's
it,
still
you know?
a smidge of spite, but in
Yeah,
a good
of course,
way. You're like,
man.
yeah,
Yeah.
good,
But
good.
it's you know what
Stay
you always
busy.
talk. It's healthy competition.
That's good.
But also,
Yeah.
if it's not going to be me, I want it to be you.
100%.
You know,
And if it's not
100%.
the two of you, then you both have this thing of like, fuck that guy.
Yeah.
100%, bro.
yeah,
What does he have?
yeah, exactly.
And we're talking about Rob.
We're
I
talking
was
about
think, I
Rob.
literally was thinking the same thing.
Even though he's booking way more than we are, so
That's
he's
why we're like, fuck
he's
that
like, I don't
guy.
feel the ghost of either of you guys,
But
so it's
you-
all good.
It's funny. I don't know if Rob's cool with me bringing this up, but like I met him on set where, like, for the sake of camaraderie and caring for each other, I kept being like, "Yo, we gotta make sure you're protected," kind of thing. Rob, are you cool with me bringing this up? Okay, like there was like a nudity scene for Rob,
Oh, I remember you telling me about this actually.
and he wasn't told about this ahead of time, and I was like, "Yo, what the fuck? Are you cool with this?" He's like, "Yeah, like I'll deal with it." I'm like, this is sitting wrong with me because I
Yeah.
want
Yeah.
you to be safe and okay. And I know you said okay, but like, you don't have to say okay. Like,
Yeah.
what's that? And like, I think, I don't know if you know this. I messaged our agents at the time being like, I don't really feel comfortable like that Rob's going through this. Can you talk to them or figure something out? Because like,
Yeah.
I don't know
Wow.
what the heck is going on here. And like afterwards, I talked to the union and was like, hey, can we just make sure that there's like people know ahead of time
Good
of
for
what
you,
to
man.
expect,
Yeah,
kind of
man.
thing? Because it's not to like praise me or anything. It's more of just like you want to help out each other. You want to make
Yeah.
sure nobody's like getting me too'd or anything,
Yeah,
or
yeah,
just
yeah.
feeling compromised.
And in
Yeah.
an industry where it's like it's so, I don't want to say it's not. I don't want to use the word luck,
Yeah.
but for some actors, it's very rare that you're on set.
Yeah.
So when you have the opportunity, you're like, even if I'm not comfortable, I don't want to fuck this
I
up.
don't want to step on toes.
Yeah, I don't want to. I don't want to get a bad reputation from being difficult to work with.
Yeah.
So you kind of just take it on the chin. You're like, it's okay. Like even when you're not,
Yeah.
like that's not okay.
And then
So-
like the injuries you might incur from it,
Yeah.
or the emotional weirdness from it, and you're like,
Yeah, man.
that's not a good thing to keep going,
Yeah.
because then
Yeah.
the next generation is like, oh, I have to say yes to this, or I have to be comfortable with this, regardless.
Well, we're
of-
like we're going in the opposite direction, man.
Yeah.
Like we're being like, no, you could say no, and that's okay. That's not going to ruin your career.
and that's what I like.
Yeah.
That's what I want to promote too. It's like,
Yeah, man.
still love your life. Being
Yeah.
on set and being
Yeah.
acting is great, but like,
That's
You're
a part of your
human.
life.
You're
That's not your
yeah,
life,
you're
right?
not. This isn't it.
Yeah.
Cool,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Just to wrap it up, take a look into that camera over there.
There's one.
Yeah, feel free to plug yourself. What are you working on right now? Where can they find
Socials,
you?
Yeah.
anything, man.
Hey guys, you can find me on Instagram at Julius Cho. Yes, I know my own account. But you can find me on the upcoming Mistletoe Murder Season 2, which will be on Hallmark. I think they're doing it every Friday right now. Animation-wise, if you have Outtv, you'll see me on PeopleWatching Season 3. And yeah, just look on my IMDb and see other things that you might have seen me on. Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks so much, man.
No,
really
thanks so much,
appreciate
buddy.
it.
Great, man.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Cheers.